I'm riding the train through the Balkans, which Balkans, of course, are in Eastern Europe, and wanted to talk about beer for a minute. Uh, Basically, the beers in this part of the world, they're pilsners. They're very light, crisp, really nice, easy drinking beers. Fairly light in alcohol, 4.5 5%. And I want to give you some tips for drinking beer when you're in this part of the world. All right, so the first tip is drink local. Basically, every country, every region has their own, local beer. I'm just leaving Macedonia. I'm on my way up to Belgrade in Serbia, and so I picked up one of these at the store, and this is basically a Skopko. The C is kind of pronounced like an S, and that little thing that looks like an N is like a P, so it's Skopko, and this is the local beer that I was drinking in Macedonia. And so when you order a beer, the locals are really, really proud of their regional beers. So when you go to like a cafe or a restaurant and you order a beer, sometimes the waiter's gonna try to trip you up a little bit, and they're gonna think you're a typical American tourist, so they're gonna offer you like a Heineken, like a tourist beer. Okay, don't fall for it. Tell them you want the local beer. You want their regional beer, local Macedonian beer, beer from Serbian beer, whatever. And you're instantly going to create this rapport. They're going to see that you're not a typical American tourist, that you're really truly a traveler, that you're really truly interested in learning about them, learning about their culture, experiencing their country. And you're going to see it on their face. Like, their face just changes immediately when they offer you the Heineken, and you don't go for it, and you say, no, I want the local beer. All right, so two is, whenever you order the beer, you can just order a beer. I'll take a beer, and that generally is going to mean you want that local beer. Most places only have one beer on draft. Or they do have some selection of cans, like we had talked about. They have like the Heinekens and the tourist beers, but stick with that local beer. Like in Seattle, just walking in and ordering a beer is completely ridiculous. It'd be like walking into a restaurant and just, I would like some food, because we have, the average bar has about 20 beers on tap, and we have every different style of beer, lots of different breweries. But here you can just be comfortable with just ordering, I'll take a beer. And if they ask you for anything beyond that, just say, I want your local beer. So the second point is, don't be afraid of the draft beers. I know in America, people are concerned sometimes that they don't want to drink beer on draft, that the lines are dirty and full of, I don't know, bacteria or mold or something like that. So that they go with the beer in a bottle or can or whatever, if they are at a bar or a restaurant. But here, like, these beers, they're so light and so crisp that you really can't get away with having any sort of dirty lines or dirty equipment with these beers. It would just show right up. And really, the beers, like, I've had this beer on tap, but I've also had it in the can. Also with several other regional beers, they really are. They're just out of the draft. They're fresher and just crisper, and they're live. Most of the beer is going to be unpasteurized, so it's just really great experience. So tip number 2, definitely go with the draft beer. And so tip number 3 is, don't limit yourself to just beer. You might be like a beer guy, but this is, Macedonia and the Balkans here. It's like the cradle of like wine growing region, where they first started growing grapes, cultivating grapes, and turning them into wine. They have some really great wines here, and it's super affordable. Like, a bottle of wine in a mid-range restaurant is going to be like $10 to $15. Grocery store, you'd be able to get a bottle of wine, a really great bottle, for like $3-4. So don't just limit yourself to beer. Try the wine. And the other thing to try is, it's called rakia, and it's basically a brandy. It's usually made with like dried fruit kind of infused into the brandy. they drink it here like a shot. It's definitely, if you're kind of hanging out with some younger kids and you're out at the nightclub, you're going to see a lot of rakia going down. So definitely try that when you're in the region. All right, checking out. Thanks for watching. Make sure like and subscribe. Check out my other shows, and check out my Instagram. It's @TimothyStiff. I'll make sure and put a link down below. And all right, thanks. We'll see you later.